A wealthy man lived on an island and enjoyed hunting. On his way to the forest, he always crossed a poor basket maker's field. Tall reeds grew in that field and made the path uneven. The wealthy man disliked walking through the rough reeds. One day he called the poor man and demanded the land. The poor man humbly replied that it was his only source of livelihood. He said he could not sell it because he depended on it for survival. The wealthy man became furious at his refusal. He punished the poor man harshly out of anger. Then he ordered the entire reed field to be burned. The poor man cried helplessly as his land turned to ashes. He went to the king to complain about the injustice. The king summoned the wealthy man to explain himself. The wealthy man proudly admitted what he had done. He said the poor man disobeyed him and deserved the punishment. The king was shocked by his arrogance and cruelty. The king reminded him that his own forefathers were once poor. He told him that his family gained wealth only through the king's support. The king declared that the poor man was better because he worked with his own hands. He said real dignity comes from skill and hard work, not pride. The king ordered both men to be stripped of everything. He commanded that they be left on an uninhabited island for a week. They were taken to the wild island and abandoned there. The island was filled with fierce and primitive tribes. The tribesmen rushed at them angrily when they saw them. They were ready to kill both of them immediately. The basket maker quickly signaled that they meant no harm. He picked some reeds and began weaving a beautiful hat. He placed the hat on a tribesman's head with respect. The tribesman loved the handmade crown instantly. Soon more tribesmen gathered around the basket maker happily. They lined up for hats and baskets, amazed by his skill. They praised his talent and treated him with honor. The wealthy man stood aside helplessly with nothing to offer. He had no skill to show and no way to earn favor. The tribesmen became angry at his uselessness. They beat the wealthy man severely and left him wounded. He cried in pain, realizing the weakness of pride. The basket maker watched quietly as the tribesmen punished him. The wealthy man begged him desperately for help. He promised half of his estate if he survived. The basket maker felt pity and agreed to help. He told the tribesman that the wealthy man was his assistant. The tribesmen stopped harming the wealthy man. They allowed him to stay near the basket maker peacefully. They even shared food with both of them afterward. The wealthy man survived only because of the skillful poor man. Days passed slowly on the wild island. The wealthy man lived in fear the entire time. The basket maker continued weaving to please the tribesmen. His hands worked continuously, earning safety for both. Finally, after a week, a royal boat arrived. Both men were taken back to the king's court. The wealthy man trembled as he stood before the king. His pride had completely vanished from his heart. He felt ashamed of his previous arrogance. The king asked what he had learned from the experience. The wealthy man bowed his head in guilt and fear. He admitted that wealth alone has no real value. He confessed that skill is the true source of strength. He said arrogance brings destruction and shame. The king ordered him to fulfill his promise immediately. The wealthy man returned home and split his estate. He handed half of his property to the basket maker. The basket maker accepted it with humility and gratitude. He had earned it through patience and honesty. The wealthy man realized the true worth of hard work. The story teaches that skills are greater than riches. Real wealth belongs to those who work with their hands. Pride collapses, but skill rises and protects. Hard work and talent are the true treasures of life. The one with skill survives where the proud fail, and patience brings reward even in the hardest moments.